Can I steal you for a minute?
Steal you for a minute?
Can I steal you for a minute?
Welcome to Can I Steal You for a Minute, the reality dating recap podcast. My name is Indra Raj.
And I'm Mary Bianco.
And I want to scream.
I am literally so pissed off. This episode is just going to be a big, giant fuck you. How dare you to ABC?
How dare you?
Not that I'm going to excuse anything that Devin did because we've been saying he's garbage for weeks.
Right. I just want to say we fucking called it.
We called it.
We've known that guy's a dirtbag from day dot.
We called it. And like our reels and stuff about him being a douchebag had low engagement. And now that engagement's picking up and you guys are fake.
All you bitches out there,
you're fake.
You should have known that we're always right.
Listen, and we don't like to be right when it hurts people's feelings, but
no,
here we are.
Oh God,
it's so bad. I almost feel like I was listening to the Las Culturistas today, and I almost feel like we both want to do like their segment that's like, I don't think so, honey, about this entire episode. Where for those of you who don't listen to Las Culturistas, they spend a minute doing something called I Don't Think So, Honey, where they have a minute to rail against something in pop culture. And I don't think so, honey, to this entire franchise right now.
I mean, can we just talk about the bizarre decision that production made, deciding to say it wouldn't be appropriate for us to show this engagement because of the outcome, and we feel Jenn needs to speak about it first. And like this, I was actually remarking earlier in the episode to Patrick at how little Jenn cries. She does not cry very much. She did not cry sending home anyone, like including John, her number 3. She did not cry sending him home, and I know she cared about him. She cried about the situation with Marcus, but she didn't actually cry when she sent him home or like said goodbye or whatever. And like you can see, like there'll be emotional things going on, and like me, I cry at everything.
Same.
I cry at Hallmark like cards and shit.
Yeah.
Like I would just be like, you know, listening to Marcus tell his story to my family. I would be crying listening to it.
I mean,
like,
that's another thing that we got to that.
Yeah, but like Jenn doesn't. That's not how she shows. I don't know. She just doesn't emote that way very often. And I was like, that's kind of an interesting thing about her, like so on and so forth. The way she was crying the moment she came on stage, that was not fake. Like if anyone thought that shit was fake, that shit was not fake.
No.
She was beside herself.
No.
It was so upsetting.
I'm a big time crier too. I've gasped, cried like that maybe 5 times in my entire life. That is like deep. When she was like almost like yelping, like it was like caught in her throat and she was trying not to cry. I just feel like ABC acted like this is the first time a couple's ever broken up before or after the final rose. It's not.
Right.
This is the first time that they've made them sit there and like watch it together and watch it after they had to discuss where everything went wrong. Like that is so next level messed up. And just from the very beginning, this show has not helped Jenn. And I think it reared its head in this last episode where they cast men who were interested in dating Maria.
Right.
And now Jenn's 3 out of her top 4 guys all follow Maria on Instagram, are all clubbing with Maria. And this is not Maria's fault.
Wait. Who are we talking about?
Jonathan, Jeremy, and Devin.
Ugh.
And
guys, I mean, it's fine if they follow her, I guess. Like there's so much. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No,
there's so many things to discuss. But like the issue with the follow is a thing, because like just following someone on Instagram, not a big deal. But we know, I think we've discussed it before, that Jenn and Maria stopped following each other after being like very good friends on Joey's season before Jenn's season aired. But I think after she had filmed.
Yeah, maybe.
Unclear, but it was early on. So something happened between them in their friendship, which is probably why Devin was not following her leading up to this, and why it hurt so much when the day after he breaks things off with her, he starts following Maria. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only explanation here. I feel like it can't, otherwise it's not. Well, no. I mean, there's some beef there. I need to know what it is. I don't know if we're going to find out.
Yeah. I don't know that we'll find out. I think it's just like even without that beef, I just feel like what makes it extra hurtful is if it's so obvious to us as viewers that the producers cast with Maria in mind, it's even more obvious
Yeah.
to Jen. And I think for her top
Yeah.
guy to still be in some way holding a candle for Maria. And like these people are all influencers.
Oh my God.
Instagram is real life and everything to them. And so it's such a bigger,
That's true.
more hurtful thing when someone follows each other like that, especially like if Jen talked to Devin about herself as much as she says, like she probably brought that up, how this is like a sore spot for her. And
Right.
Devin is mean. And so I think
Devin is fucking mean.
I think she got to see that he's mean. And so just following her is not bad, but if you're mean, I think it adds like an extra level to it.
I mean, it's just like it is like whatever was going on, it was clearly a sore spot. And a day after you two have broken it off, you're going to do that. Like, it's so insensitive.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is mean. Like, oh my God. It's the whole thing, though, like back to the decision that production made, the sequence of events. I just don't understand it. And like you said, it just feels like they are continuously shitting on Jen and not letting her win. Like, you know, there were some good points and things to be made about like how, oh, like Jen, you followed your heart, you did what you wanted to do. You like, here's this powerful moment where she's choosing to propose to the man instead of the other way around. And you know, this could have been this big thing. It could have been about that for at least 5 minutes. Like if they had just shown the engagement before they got into all the bullshit. Like it was just too dark.
Yeah.
After what we saw, like, I mean, this wasn't like we've seen breakups on After the Rose before, and they can be contentious, but there was like a different quality to this one. It was like fresh, and she was like, I mean, we've all been in situations like this with someone we're breaking up with where it is so personal and so heated. They hadn't talked to each other since the breakup.
I know.
Like, oh my God. I can't even, the whole thing.
I know. And he embarrassed her. Like I think it's like this extra thing where it's going back to the cultural stuff we talked about last week where both of us, you know, for different reasons didn't feel like we could go on the show with like how our families are, but for you in particular with like your immigrant families, there tends to be such a pressure on perfection and on like I guess like outward expression of perfection, and if you're going to do this, do it well and crush it. And I think that like I don't think that Jen failed, but I do think that there is this feeling of failure that she has because she put her family out there. She put herself out there. She had difficult conversations with her mom about for weeks because of the intimacy she was showing with these men on TV. And the final two both kind of dog walked her. And like I just feel so badly for her. Like I just feel
so, oh my God.
It was so heavy, like what she had. Like the weight of it was so heavy for her. Like And it's not helpful for Jessie to keep being like, and you made history for as the first Asian American Bachelorette. Because in that moment, she's thinking like, this is what you did. Like, this is how you treated me as the first Asian American lead of the show. Like, this is what you let happen to me. And like, you're going to do that. When Jessie said, should we watch that proposal now? And she said, do I have a choice? And they immediately cut to it. It's like, this is actually not dramatic. This is torture. This is like
literally torture. Like I mean, I think like you can't watch these live programs anymore without the like little box in the corner.
I know.
And They showed Jen, like, uncontrollably crying a few times during this proposal, and then you could tell they were like, "This is too hard to watch. We're just gonna take the box away and watch the proposal," because
Yeah.
she was clearly losing it. Like, it was just like, how can you see this breakup that is ensued? How shitty of a person Devin is, how bad Jen feels about herself because of this relationship. She says, like, I turned into things I didn't want to try for the sake of our relationship. Like, I did things I shouldn't have done. Like, there was so much, like, the only word I can think of is like
Yeah.
shame that I felt was going on with her on that stage. And then to show this, like, what should have been, could have been, like, for a moment, we could have lived in this fantasy of, oh, she made this decision for herself. She did, like, propose to him without him having to choose her. She chose her destiny, which is like such a powerful message. I think it's so fucking cool when women propose to men. And it was just all of that moment was totally stripped away from her. I just wish, like, if they had made the decision to not show it and have Jen say her piece and whatever, that they had just not shown the engagement.
Yeah.
We didn't need to see it.
We didn't need to see it, like, or just like the standard format where like they show it and then it cuts to
Right.
Jesse and he says something like, "As you can see, I'm not sitting here with a happy couple." What they've done literally every single other time, but for some
Yeah.
reason, what happened to Jen on her season was not painful enough. And they had to make it worse. But like, this is where I want Jen to be like a little bit reflective on this. And I know that it's going
Right.
to feel so good to just shit on Devin no matter what. I need her to not compromise herself for anybody ever again. And I think towards
Yes.
the end, what could have been a powerful moment to me kind of became like proving your worth to someone. And
Yes.
how can I affirm this person who needs constant affirmation from me? I can propose to him so he knows that I'm serious.
That's so
And
true. That's so
and I
true.
think I would have seen it differently, like in other seasons, like where I'm trying to think like your faves, like Tasha and Zach. Like if Tasha had proposed to Zach, we would have like been so all
Yeah.
in. But this whole time I was just thinking like, I still see her folding to what men want from her
Yes.
a lot, and that's
Yes.
really hard to unlearn for women. It took me a long time to unlearn it. Like we talk about cool girl syndrome on here a lot, and I think like
Right.
Jen needs to untangle a lot of that shit before she can like be with someone who's deserving of her.
Right.
And not settle for someone who can't say one thing they love about her besides how she makes him feel. And another person that she has to drag it out of. Like, I don't know. I think she needs time to just work it all out.
Totally. And I mean, I think, we've been saying, like, this is like, it's like a live
Mm-hmm.
diary that you can look back on and kind of be like, okay, this went wrong. This wasn't right. The way he treated me then wasn't right. And the way I reacted was maybe not the best. Like, she has it all in front of her. I think, like, things are very raw and real for her right now in a way that, like, I mean, I think the, like, most apt comparison is maybe like Hannah
Mm-hmm.
Brown's After the Final Rose, where, like, all this stuff comes to light about Jed. They had broken up. She was so mad about it. But, like, still at the end of that, they, like, had Tyler Cameron in the audience and,
Yeah.
like, were hinting at a thing. It was, like, clear that Jonathan was there to, like, maybe spark of something. And I think the one right move producers made was, like, to not bring that element in at the end,
Yeah.
because it was just like, Jen is not okay. She's not okay right now.
No.
And I'm actually, like, worried about her
Yeah.
after watching that.
I'm really, really glad that she's doing Dancing with the Stars because I
So
feel like,
glad.
as we saw for Ariana Madix, like it can be such a healing thing to be like dancing and working really
Right.
hard and putting yourself out there for something different. And I think that is going to be, it's not enough of an apology, but Dancing with the Stars is also ABC. So if this is partially like, hey, we fucked up, here's this other thing, like it's a
Right.
good start. I just wish they even just let her brother come and sit with her and hug her or something. Like, you know,
Oh my
someone on TikTok was
God.
talking about how the other super excruciating breakup was maybe Becca and Ari and
Oh.
following Becca through the
Yeah.
house. But they let
Oh my God.
Becca sit on the stage and be held by all of her friends during that. Jen had to
Right.
sit next to the man who dumped her in a dress
Oh
that
my
was
God.
clearly uncomfortable, and her nipple was out at one point. Like down to
No.
the dress they fucked her over. Like she's worn such great dresses all season, and this is what it is. Yeah, the one of the strips, the black strip had like slipped down and her half of her nipples hanging out. It's like, so we don't even let her be comfortable sitting up there when she
Right.
has to do this like horrible thing and face this person. It's like,
I mean, just think about, like, again, many of us have been there. You have just gone through the biggest breakup of your life. The person you thought you were truly going to be with the rest of your life. Your heart has been shattered into a million pieces. You have all these things that you've wanted to say and you haven't been able to say them because they won't talk to
yeah.
you. And then you get to say it all on a live stage. And like, I'm just thinking about like her nervous system, how like amped up it must have been at that point. You're sitting next to this person who you despise, but you also like still want
I
to have it out
know.
with. And then you have to watch this fucking engagement. I mean, it is literally torture. Like, ABC, what the fuck? This added with cutting corners on Jen season. Like, I know I said I was going to do the math and I never did. I swear they cut an
No,
episode from this season.
so Bachelor Data did a recap today on TikTok,
Oh, thank God.
and
Love
she was
her.
talking about how, so since the pandemic, it's weird because prior to the pandemic, the Bachelorette seasons were way more successful than the Bachelor seasons. But
Oh, interesting.
post pandemic, there's been 4 Bachelors, and 3 out of 4 of them are with their final pick. There's been 8 Bachelorettes, and 2 of them, oh no, and I guess only Charity. So 1 out of 7 is still with her final pick. And they have left the Bachelor season at 10 weeks, but they've cut the Bachelorette season to 8 weeks. And so you can't tell me that that's not related to success rate. Like they don't get
No,
to know
it's
them.
absolutely related.
Yeah.
I still just am like like Jen had her last like she chose someone for hometowns who she had her first
I
date with
know.
the week before. Like that is
she
wild.
gave him a hometown rose on their first date. Like that's insane.
So, like, it is actually insane. Like, this whole process we know was like kind of a
Of
fantasy and
course.
like ridiculous and all the rest. But it's like, do we need to make it even more difficult and ridiculous?
No.
Like, and why do we need to do that with our first Asian American bachelorette? Who, like, it just, the meme that you made about Maria, like, having such a hold on this franchise. I mean, anyone who's been listening to this podcast for a while knows how I feel about Maria. Like, what is the big fucking deal? Get this woman off my screen. Like, it's just like, she just had to come up at the end, you know? Like, she just had to somehow be a part of this. Like,
Yeah.
Jen, like, I mean, I'm just thinking back to the after the final rose of Joey season when they announced Jen, like, do you remember all the speculation and buzz about like we were all so sure it was going to be Maria and then at the last minute change and whatever and then Jen is like thrust onto this. Even
Yeah.
that was like she was 3 steps behind. She was never going to catch up. She was always going to be in like this bad position and it's like ABC, your job is to make the lead like impenetrable.
Yes.
Is to make them like you know, God on earth, like really just they're supposed to be untouchable.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be like this object of like intense desire and all of that. And they just like even now, like I at first I really loved the promos of Jen like being in the machine, like it was cute. But now it feels infantilizing to me. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing just feels like she's been treated like a child. And like I think, you know, I'm not gonna put it totally on production. I think Jen has some personal work that she needs to do too, obviously. But like help a girl out. Like
I
come
know.
on.
I agree with you about the ads too. And I think there is this, I wish I knew who was talking about it, but like, I was listening to someone on a podcast and she was talking about, like, being Asian American and how there is this constant, like, everyone's like, "Oh my
Right.
god, you're so cute." And, like, I've done that to Jen too because she
Yes.
is so small and, like, she's adorable. And that's something
Yeah.
that I maybe shouldn't have done, but I think ABC kind of framed it that way from the beginning,
Right.
and I think that they just didn't bring men who were there for her, and I don't know, I'm just so upset, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just upset. I'm just pissed off, like,
Yeah.
I will keep watching the show because I normally always watch, but, like, a lot of people are saying they're not gonna watch anymore, and they're, like,
Right.
really upset, like, all this rating spike that we had from Joey and then Jen season, they just fucking tanked it by being soulless to people because we are not the
Yeah.
audience of the early 2000s that wants to watch people suffer anymore. Like, that's not something that we as a culture really like to do, and they're still acting like we do, and it's okay that it
I
didn't work
mean,
out, but you couldn't let her turn it into some empowerment thing, like,
right.
you couldn't work with her to figure out a way that they're gonna, like, have her come out there swinging like she did at Sam M, like, you're just gonna let her sit there, and the guy that she's was engaged to is just gonna look at her, like, with no emotion on his face, like she doesn't fucking matter, like, what are we doing?
I mean, I'm going to give ABC the benefit of the doubt and say that they somehow, in some twisted boardroom, thought that it was the right decision and more empowering for her to get on that stage and go. Like, I don't know. It would have even been better if, like, Jen came and said what happened and then they showed the clip and then brought Devin out.
Yeah.
Although even that, I mean, she was so upset by that point, and Jessie even said when she came out, like, you're clearly very upset backstage. Like, why wasn't there someone who was like, "This is not the call.
Yeah.
Show the engagement, then we'll bring her out." Like, I've never seen such palpable crying and,
Yeah.
like, discontent and sadness on the After the Final Rose stage as I saw last night, and I'm just like, then it makes me just wonder, like, I mean, I knew Devin was an asshole.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I've been saying it. I just don't like the dude. I never have. He is basically like one notch better, very small notch better than Sam M
Yeah.
because he can actually get some words out of his mouth. But, like, did you clock how he was literally repeating everything Marcus said in his breakup with Jen? Like, literally saying, "I can't live up to you. Like, I can't live up to what you need. I can't be what you want." Like, there was one point where, like, what he said, literally, I want to put it side by side by
Yeah.
what Marcus said. And it was seeing it within the same hour or whatever it was just like, Marcus, whatever you want to say about him, like, he was struggling with what was going on. Like,
Yeah.
he had real emotion there. Like, I think he really felt what he was saying. Devin just says what you want to hear.
Mhm.
That's his MO. He just says what you want to hear so he can get through to another day and treat everyone like shit and pretend like no one cares.
Yeah.
And Patrick said afterwards, he was like, Devin's kind of like Trump.
I mean,
Like, he
yeah.
just does whatever he wants and says whatever he wants and just knows that, like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that is the vibe that Devin
Yeah.
is.
I fully agree with that. Like, I think I saw someone else on TikTok saying that, like, they're tired of everyone coming out and saying, like, the nice guy thing on the couch and, like, saying what they
Right.
think they need to say instead of just saying the truth. Like, it's one of the ways that I think social media has really ruined this show in a lot of ways is because people are so afraid of being the bad guy because they don't want to get cyberbullied, and I can understand that. But,
Right.
like, no one is being honest anymore, and, like, Devin worked out all the nice guy things to say instead of just
Right.
saying, like, "Yeah, I and what the truth with Devin is," and he's never gonna say otherwise, like, he wanted to win. He wanted to play a game.
Yes.
He
Yes.
was trying to play the rule book of being like how to become the bachelor. He wanted to be the person that said I love you and she doesn't say it back to, and he's so downtrodden over it, but he'll bounce back and he'll find love and whatever. And she picked him, and
Right.
he was happy to win for maybe a day and then immediately
Literally a day.
wasn't happy anymore. Like, Devin could not say one thing about Jen that he loved about her that was not how she grounds him and she
Lifts him up.
supports him. Like James, Jen's brother, did the best that he could. Like Jen was getting engaged no matter what her
Love
family
him.
said. Like she had that in her head. But James being like,
Right.
how are you grounding her? Like, how is
He
anyone
literally
here?
asked the question.
Yes. Like, how is
Love James. Love
love
him.
James icon when he was like crying watching himself, like, and he
Oh my God.
in the frame wipes a tear and in the tiny thing wipes the tear in the same way. I was like, oh my God,
Obsessed.
obsessed. And just like clocked these men and checked his sister too, where he was like,
Yes.
you're doing the thing where you go for the emotionally unavailable guy again. And I think
Yes.
because Devin can lie through his fucking teeth, he has no problem saying I love you when he doesn't mean it. And Marcus couldn't. And so that's why Devin
Right.
got to like slide through.
I know. It's kind of like, I sort of felt like Jen thought it was going to be Marcus. Like, I think she was going to pick him if he was able to really get there.
Yeah.
Like, if he had been able to get there sooner.
Yeah, she loved Marcus more. And I
Yeah.
think that's part of why she also proposed to Devin, because I think she was thinking like, oh shit, Devin's so insecure. He's going to see me say I love you to this guy and really mean it and him not say it back. I have to pick him in some grand way. Like, I think
Right. Right.
that was the real
Oh,
reason
that's a
for
good.
it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Back to
Yeah.
Devin, though, and the way he was unable to express his love or any interest in Jen, really. Like, once again, they have like this kind of spiritual date at the end in the ocean. And like Jen is like expressing things that are really hard for her. And Devin is acting like it's the first time he's heard anything of
I
it.
know.
And he's like, I now realize that I want to be here for her. And it's like,
I know.
are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the actual fuck is wrong with you?
Like, I know.
I hate him. I hate him.
It's like, Devin, I've watched you actually have this conversation with her before. So this is crazy.
Yes. It's actually crazy. Like, Devin, you have said these
Yes.
things before, and now it's like what is going on with you? Like, literally, he just says what he needs to say in the moment to get by, to win, to capture this woman's heart. Like, it's all about him.
Yeah.
It's all about him. And it's so like, I think what really upsets me is like seeing someone like Jen, she has her wits about her in so many ways. She's so well spoken. She like really can be very introspective. She's aware of a lot of things that are difficult in her life. She's able to vocalize them. She's able to like connect with those things. How did she not see this in Devin? I just don't understand it.
Yeah. I think she just wanted to be chosen so badly. Like, I think she just
Right.
really wanted to leave this thing with an engagement. And like, her picker sucks. Like, we've been saying it the whole season.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
her picker just sucks. Like, and she just still does want the unavailable guy. Like, her brother
Right.
said, like, your history with people who are emotionally unavailable, Marcus seems to fit that mold. And it's like, yeah. And she loved him the
Yes.
most out of the whole season. And then it's when Devin is threatening to leave is when she throws up the Hail Mary to say, I love you. And I just don't, I think Jen says a lot of confident things, but I don't know if she fully believes them about herself yet.
I agree.
And
And I want that for
me
her.
too. Me too, because 26 is a lot of years to go through just wanting approval of other people. Like, I think she really has to figure out how to make herself happy. And
And how is this going to set her back, truly? Like, Devin has scarred her.
Yeah.
And this whole Maria narrative, I think, is really damaging too.
Yeah.
Like, I actually, I don't know. I think, I'll speak for myself, but I think a lot of young women can relate to feeling not chosen because of this other person, usually another woman who's prettier than you, who's so and so than you, who's whatever than you, like just constantly comparing yourself to that person and as a result feeling bad about yourself. And like Jenn should be feeling on top of the world as a bachelorette.
Yeah.
And yet throughout this season, from the men she's liked the most, like, we cannot forget Sam M in that fucking radio interview being like, I thought it was going to be Maria or Daisy.
I know.
Two white women who have captured America's hearts because of things that you are not.
Mhm.
And that to me is the most like cutting thing. Like, just, I know how that would make me feel. And I just feel like it's obviously gotten to her. She brought it up when she talked to Devin on stage. Like, she brought it up because it bothered her.
Yeah, I think she's just gonna be I think she's just gonna be down bad for a while. And like
Yeah.
I think I wish we got to spend more time alone with Jen after the whole Devin thing. Like the way that they just moved
Agreed.
on and went straight to Joan was like, you guys had 3 hours. There was nothing that you could cut. Like, I'm not gonna watch that fucking Odyssey ship show about medical emergencies on a cruise.
Even though I fucking love Joshua
Oh,
Jackson.
and he's aging amazingly. He looks so hot.
He's a hot man, but like, no, I'm not gonna watch that show.
Sorry, if there's even one of these fucking emergencies on a boat, that boat should be grounded. It should not be headed out to sea. Like, so maybe we skip that.
Yeah, let's skip that and let's talk to Jen after Devin has left the stage and we all agree he's an asshole.
And so she can have her moment with the audience where she like takes back her entire season. And they didn't give that to her. And so it's just left on this very like sad note. And like, I don't know. I just think there are so many men like Devin who exist who for some reason have some superiority complex, but because they're insecure, think that they can't be a dickhead. I think because he thinks, oh well, I was so big and I was so insecure about things for such a long time. I can't do anything wrong because I have X, Y, and Z going on. And I, I couldn't meet her expectations. I'm really not a bad guy. She just wanted too much from me. I would love to see you write out on paper what she actually wanted from you, because it sounds like she just wanted you to love her and respect her, and you couldn't even fucking do that. Like,
yeah, she wanted you to like call her.
she wanted her fiance to call her and say, I love you.
Yeah. Like, these are not big asks or expectations. Like, just be a fucking decent human being. Like, we knew it.
Yeah.
We knew Devin was that.
Yeah.
And he showed his true colors. And like, I am so glad she's going and Dancing with the Stars, because one thing about that show is it's about a redemption arc for pretty much everyone on that show. It's about their personal journey. Who's her partner? Is he single? Because there's always a possibility of the couples hooking up.
So he is single, but he's divorced from another pro who's on the show. So I don't know if they're going to do that or not. But she's like, they're posting a lot of TikToks and she's like kind of like leaning all over him. So I think she does kind of want to push she wants to be the fake romance narrative of the season, I think.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, ABC needs to make it up to her.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that happens. But
yeah, Devin posted some screenshots of text messages and then quickly deleted them because I think he realized that it's not working. I hope that all of this is falling so flat for him and it's not working, because I don't like when a guy thinks he's overly charming. Like, I don't think it's not cute.
Ugh.
And when you think you can weasel your way out of everything because you're so right and you have the story. So he posted, it's a text to Jen. I didn't spring this on you, Jen. I wanted to talk about this in person today and you forced it out of me. Of course, this isn't the way I wanted to do things. And she said, but the way you said it last night made it seem like you already made your mind up. Not that you wanted to have a conversation about it. And he said, just last week, Friday, you said we should break up. You said that before. I took that to heart because I've been having doubts about our whole relationship, and I'm not happy right now when I know you aren't either. I'm always falling short of your expectations. I have already expressed my own doubts. In the last happy couple, I was very honest about where my heart stood. I didn't know what else to say, Jen. You don't deserve this, and I don't think I can do what you deserve. And she said, I know I said that I wanted to break up, and I was emotionally charged when I said that. Obviously didn't, and I obviously didn't go through with that, and then something was like cut off.
Yeah.
This is such a cop-out.
Such a cop
Such a
out. That's
cop-out.
exactly what it is.
Feel bad for me because I can't measure up to your expectations. Then fucking be better. Sorry, don't propose to somebody and make all these promises and you're not going to fucking do it. Like that's pathetic.
Yeah, and just be like, I'm sorry, Jen. I shouldn't have gotten engaged to you.
Yep.
This wasn't the right move. I made a mistake. And I know that I am really hurting you because of
Yeah.
this. Like, if he had said that, I would have a shred of respect for him, honestly. You know, like, the best thing you can do in a situation like that is just be fucking honest. I mean, you know, Jen's a big girl. She can handle it. She's smart enough to know when you're just like bullshitting her. And like she was clocking it on that stage, all the stupid shit he was saying. He was trying to like backtrack and like make excuses on the stage, and like the look on Jen's face by the end of
I know.
it was like, she was just like, get me the fuck out of here. And let me just tell you, she still looked beautiful.
Yeah. I can say all I want about the dress. She looked gorgeous. Like she
looked gorgeous.
She's still so beautiful.
Flawless. Yeah.
I just like, I want her to be with somebody who actually gets her and actually asks her a question about herself.
Right. She had guys like that.
She had guys like that and she totally ignored it.
Right.
I had a feeling that they were broken up based on Jen's behavior.
Right.
I had a feeling that it wasn't going to last a long time because of the ring that he picked.
Yes. Oh, this is so good. If you haven't seen our social media yet, this is so good. So good.
I talk about him all the time. I'm married. I wear exclusively gold jewelry. If my husband had shown up to our engagement with a platinum band, as stupid as it is, I would be like, do you even know me?
Right.
And Jenn has worn gold and silver jewelry throughout the whole season. That's something you should ask because she's going to have it on her finger every single day.
Yes. Yes.
She wore silver jewelry to the engagement and she bought Devin a silver ring. Do you think Jenn wanted a gold ring? I don't think so.
No, she definitely did not. And also, like, I think Devin is such a piece of shit that he like was a little mad that Jenn proposed to him.
Probably.
I don't think he liked it.
No. I mean, he probably was like, oh, this is some pussy shit. Like, to his boys.
He probably didn't like that he had to like put on a ring.
Yeah, probably not.
Because that's a part of it, right? Like, this is one thing that I think is fucked up about the whole engagement thing before marriage is that like typically the man asks the woman, gives her the ring, which she needs to wear to show that she's taken, but the man doesn't need to wear it until he gets married.
No.
Like, what's up with that shit?
I want to shout out my friends Grace and Bobby here because they proposed to each other and they're engaged.
Love it.
They're getting married next year. And Bobby so she has a emerald ring and he wears a gold band with a little emerald in it.
Oh my gosh. See, like, Grace and Bobby, you're an inspiration to us all.
I say that as
I guarantee you Devin did not wear that ring one day.
And
1 minute.
My husband lost his wedding ring, so we're currently dealing with that. So
that is so funny. I mean, occasionally I think about the fact that like because I'm not married, I don't wear a ring and neither does Patrick. And I'm like, so do people like assume that I'm not married?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of antiquated now.
I don't know. It's weird because my dad lost his wedding ring and has never worn one. And like my dad is like the most married guy ever to my mom. And he never wore one, but I still always look for them on people, which is so weird because the main guy in my life for most of my life, who's like the symbol of monogamy to me, never wore a ring, and I still look for it. It's so strange.
We're conditioned, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think actually I don't know what my behavior is. I notice when someone's wearing one. I'm not sure that I notice when someone's not wearing one. But maybe I do. I probably do. And I just like am not paying attention.
I don't make assumptions about it as much anymore. I just look for it. I don't know what I think because I'm not, trolling around being like, ooh.
Yeah. Are you married? Are you
not married?
Tell me your status.
Are you part of the club?
I think I've thought about it more because my oldest son just started
Mm.
kindergarten. And so like I'm kind of meeting a lot of new families like at drop off and stuff. And I'm like, are people wondering about like our family status because I'm not wearing a ring?
Probably.
Yeah, and that's fucked up. I
Yeah.
don't know. Something about that feels not right
Hey,
to
yeah,
me.
guys, mind your business while we're
Yeah.
while you're hypothetically wondering what.
Yeah. Like, we actually have no idea what you're wondering, but there you
You're
go.
like,
Okay,
yeah.
I have to talk about Rachel Recchia, who basically got the most screen time during this
I
episode.
wanted to
Am I
talk about
right?
her too because
What the fuck was going on with her during Marcus's emotional breakdown? Did you see her and Kylie giggling with each
I
other?
I don't know what it was. Like there were certain points where
Oh
like
my
Rachel and
God.
Kylie were giggling, Jeremy and Jonathan were giggling. I don't know if they knew when the camera was going to be on them or not. And
They clearly did not. I think it was so like egregious with Rachel that they told her like you need to look more sad.
yeah,
Like someone told her.
but then she is a Pisces, so I think she did start crying in earnest, like when things were
Oh, for
like
sure. Well, we have to remember Tino
it's
and how things
very
went down with him, and it's kind of
it's
similar.
extremely similar to Tino, and Rachel said that. She said
Right.
before she knew it was over that Devin really reminded her of Tino, and people were really hard on her about
Oh,
it.
wow.
And listen, Pisces are overly emotional, but we're also very intuitive. And so I'm not surprised
Yeah.
that she picked up on that. Speaking of Marcus, everything about his life is the saddest fact I've ever heard in my entire life. I
Yes.
they didn't address the allegations, which I
Of
never know how to
course.
feel about that because they don't handle those things well anyway.
Right.
Part of me obviously wishes that they did, but I'm also like, I don't know if they would have done a good job. So I don't,
Oh, I can guarantee you they would have not
yeah,
done a
they
good
probably would have
job. It
made
would have
things
been a
worse.
train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that aside, like I didn't know that Marcus had two sisters that were adopted separately from him and his other sister.
I know that was like a new piece of
It
information.
just is like being emotionally unavailable. You should not come on the show, but it makes a lot of sense for Marcus. And I
It
think
does.
he posted today something about how he's been going to therapy for a lot of years and he still has a long way to go. And, you know,
Oh, I'm glad to hear
me too,
that.
because this is just everything that he's been through. It's just like, holy shit, another thing. I'm just like
I know.
constant.
I know. He's just, I don't know. He's so like, it just, he's still picking up so many pieces from this life that has been so difficult. And like, you could just see that like everything he was going through, like almost, it just like wasn't even about Jen,
No.
really. It was just like, I have so much going on now. And on top of that, I'm being expected to like, get engaged to this person and say all these things and feeling forced into it. And it's just like, I mean, the one thing we can say for Marcus that we can't say for Devin is that he was at least honest with Jen about his
Yeah.
feelings. Like, and like, Jen was able to make her own decision from that before it was the nth hour, before she like, Nick Vial always talks about how Caitlyn took away the first time he like getting engaged. Like she like took away that experience from him because he like got down on one knee and then she told him no. Like it's like similar
Yeah.
here. Like it's sort of like Nick, shut up. But but it's like sort of with Jen, it's like, I don't know. I'm mad at Devin for taking that away from her too. Like,
Yeah.
did you need to be such an asshole?
I know.
Everything?
I know. It's like, it's what Hannah Ann said to Peter after they got engaged. She said, you took that away from me. Like, this was my first engagement.
Right.
And you took it away. And I think like, yeah, it's another thing that Devin took away from her. And like, eh, and
Yes.
I think because in part she was so hung up on Marcus, she picked the
Yeah.
guy that's the most quote unquote emotionally expressive and available because she was like, well, I went the wrong way with Marcus. I fell really hard for him and he's not
Right.
ready for it. So the guy that's telling me he's ready must be ready.
Yeah.
And I think it just didn't. it didn't pan out that way.
It's just, I don't know. Another thing Nick Viall always talks about, which I just sort of see in this season, is like, I think the leads really experience this like major pressure to get engaged
Yeah.
at the end, like at all costs. And like, if you don't, like, it truly is like a failure. Like, regardless of your background, I think there is this pressure within the franchise to like do that, which is why I was so like about it at the time, but like Matt and Rachel just deciding to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and those two are still going
Yeah.
strong. And I have heard nothing about an engagement from them. Like, I don't think they're going to get married, or like they're not prioritizing it. That's for
No,
sure.
I think if they do, it'll be like a very normal timeline where like they've been
Right.
together for 4 years already and they
Yeah.
will get engaged eventually, but it's not this massive rush, and they're loving traveling together and eating
Yeah.
all the food and living together, and
Honestly, I could see them maybe like not getting married.
yeah.
I could see them potentially just being like, yeah, we're going to be
Yeah,
together.
we'll just
We
we'll
don't
just stick,
need that.
which is like I think like this someone on Facebook in the Who Weekly Facebook group commented like the singular focus on getting to an I love you at the end of this show is
Right.
ruining the show. And
It's
it's
exhausting.
exhausting.
It's too
And
much.
needing to say it and hear it and who says it in what way. Bring back when the
Right.
leads didn't tell anybody they loved them. Bring back
Yes.
when the leads tiptoed around it and that was the hard part.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't want to see
That's what I want to.
I don't want to see them say I love you to two people. And fuck you, Ben Higgins, for
No.
ruining the format.
I know. Ben, and you didn't even end up with whatever her name is. Like, whatever. Anyway, we have to talk about Jer Bear. What the fuck, Jer Bear? Why are you clubbing with Devin in New York City the day? Like, I mean, it's not on Jer Bear. He's supporting his friend. It's more like, Jer Bear, why are you friends with Devin?
Yeah, it's giving Murray Hill Finance Bros fraternity forever.
Yes. They were absolutely out in Murray
Oh,
Hill. We know
and
it.
boy, oh boy, was it snowing in Murray Hill in those videos. Let me just tell you, them pupils were little pinpoints. Like,
I mean, it was interesting how, like, when they introduced the guys, like, Jonathan was like, I'm here. I heard what happened and I'm here to be supportive. And Jeremy was like, I'm here to
my
support my
brothers.
friends. And I'm just like, Jeremy, I really like you. I want you to reconsider your friendship with Devin.
Yeah. And Jeremy, I like you, but I'm mad at you for laughing when Jen was saying that Devin was out clubbing with you.
Was he laughing? Like, what? I think he was just really uncomfortable. Was he
He was
laughing?
kind of laughing. The picture I got of him, he's like kind of stifling a laugh.
I think he was. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was like a nervous laugh.
Uncomfortable.
Like, please don't bring me into this.
Yeah.
Like, because it isn't really his fault, you know. Like,
No.
he was there. I guess he was being a supportive friend, which is like, okay. I more take issue with the fact that he's even friends with Devin
Yeah.
at all.
Maybe
That's really what I have an issue with.
he got swindled too. A thing I have an issue with is people using Devin also being shitty to defend Sam M. Two people can be shitty at the same time. Sam M.
Who is doing that?
So
Like,
many people are like, we owe Sam M an apology because he called him out.
oh, no.
No. I will
No.
never apologize to that piece
No.
of shit.
The only thing Devin has ever done right in his life is call Sam M out for being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, which we all could have done. Everyone could do
Yeah.
it. Like,
Surprise,
yeah.
surprise.
There's
two assholes hate each other. Like,
surprise, Jen. Those were like two of Jen's top men. Like, and then there was Marcus. Did you hear the part where she said, like, we didn't align on a few things in the fantasy suites with Marcus? I was curious as to what those were. And I mean, I think we have some guesses.
Yeah.
I have some guesses.
I have some guesses. I also have a feeling that one of them was asked about his political beliefs and he lied. And he got caught in a lie.
Well, we've seen some flip-a-flopping. Like, what the fuck, Devin? You fully liked all these MAGA posts and then fully liked all these Kamala Harris, Tim Walz posts. So which is it? Like,
He
he
lied to
is so
Jenn.
in it for
Yeah.
clout. It is
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
unreal.
It's gross. Ugh, God.
He
Ugh.
looked ugly after the final rose. I'll say it. He looked bad. That facial hair was
He
bad. That
did.
suit did not
It
fit.
was.
His socks were
No,
stupid. He looked bad.
I didn't even look at the
They were like
socks.
a funky
I was
pattern.
I also yeah, okay. What do we have to say about Jonathan though? They're trying to push something here.
Yeah, they were trying to push like when Tyler Cameron and Hannah B went out on a date, when Rachel and
Right.
Ava went on a date, but I think you're right that it was too sad. Also, like
Too sad.
someone in the background of their story saw like he was flirting with baby Jess like during commercial breaks. So
Ooh. I saw him. Okay, I saw a video on Hakeem's Instagram. Okay.
Hakeem.
Hakeem in between the sister wives. Genius. Good job, producers. Hakeem did like a story of like an after party. They were all somewhere. I don't know where they were, but I saw Jonathan having a conversation, potentially flirting with Rachel Recchia,
Mm.
which I would appreciate more than a baby
Yeah,
Jess.
I think so too.
Yeah, Jonathan is going to clean up on Paradise.
Oh,
He's going to be the king of the beach.
he's
100%.
he's gonna hit triple digits between now and summer 2025. Like he's not even gonna have to try.
No. Like it's going to be a whole thing. I am wondering if they'll send Jen to the beach. I hope they don't,
Yeah,
cuz I just think
I think
I don't
I need to
know.
see how Dancing with the Stars goes, I think, to
Right.
see if this has been good for her. I don't know. I did want it, but now I don't feel like fun, cutie, flirty times for her anymore. I just feel sad. Like,
I know. I really hope that it turns things around for her though, and like I think in some ways it already is. She's excited about it. She's like, I've always wanted to do it, or I've always wanted to learn how to dance or something. Like,
yeah,
like, but it just like now I'm thinking back to the Men Tell All. I'm like, that was like 2 weeks, maybe a week after her and Devin
I
had broken
know.
up. I was so proud of her for the way she railed on Sam M to begin with, but it has a different essence now,
Yeah.
just knowing that
I
information.
think because Devin wasn't there, she had an easier time just kind of like compartmentalizing and
Right.
going off on it.
Yep.
But yeah, I was thinking about that too, where I was like, that was so fresh after. Maybe she didn't think it was real at that point. Like maybe she thought they were just taking a break and it wasn't fully over.
Right.
I don't know.
One thing that occurred to me about them showing the proposal, sorry, this is going way back, but I made a note about it. Maybe it has to do with the Neil Lane deal. Like they had to show the engagement ring being opened
Oh,
with the Neil Lane
yeah, they
box.
have to. Yeah.
So maybe they were like, we shouldn't show this, but we have to now.
Yeah. I mean, I think they can always get away with showing it. I think it's just the order. Like
Yeah.
I think the order of it was all messed up. Like I think for us as viewers, like we watched the whole season, we deserve to see how it like ends up.
Right.
But the order of it was just all messed up. Neil Lane looks great. I don't know what work he's had done, but like he was looking like the literal crypt keeper a couple years ago, and now he looks really good and fresh.
Okay. Things I did not expect you to say tonight. Neil Lane looks good and fresh. Like, what the fuck, Mary?
Compared to what he used to look like, he does.
I mean, all I'm hoping for Joan's season is that she ends up with Neil Lane, although I think he's married,
I think,
but maybe like a sister wife
yeah, why
situation.
not? They did have good chemistry. I mean,
They did.
Joan is not with Kelsey's dad. I don't think Kelsey's dad makes it past the first night because he's not in any of the previews, but
Wait, are you serious? You think she cuts him night
yeah, he
one?
doesn't have he's not in any of the clips from the season.
Oh my God, this is really sad to me.
But he is Like, even Ethan, like, saw him, he came on the screen, he was like, "That guy's a stud." I was like, "I know."
He's he is, and the way that he, like, pierces your eye, like, his eye contact is, like, I was almost like, he's either, like, the most charming person ever, or he's, like, actually a psycho killer or something.
I'm gonna
Like,
go with charming.
he's too charming.
I'm gonna say something crazy.
Okay, say it.
I think he's my number 1 Bachelor Nation crush right now. Like,
Oh my
I think that's the person I'd be most likely to sleep with. Unfortunately. Like, I'm really sorry, Kelsey, I love you, but
Your dad is hot.
I
It's
love your
true.
dad.
He's hot. And, like, I would like to see photos of him from when he was younger. Like,
Yeah.
because he must have been such a stud.
Or maybe he aged into it, which I like even more.
Yeah, we gotta love that. True
But he
zaddy
probably
energy.
didn't because, like, look at Kelsey. She's, like, such a stunner. Like,
I know.
she's, like, she's impossibly pretty. It's insane.
Ugh, I mean, I'm a little bit, like, an iota more excited for Joan's season, than I was before. I think I'm just hoping there's gonna be some, like, very heartwarming moments, and I'm sure, like, that's kind of what the Golden Bachelorette
I
thing
think it will be.
feels like to me.
And the cast, maybe on a week off, we should do cast reaction, like, our predictions.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Because it's a good-looking group of dudes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also, Kelsey's dad's only 57 years old.
I know. It's because
I
he has
mean,
gray hair. Everyone was like, "Oh, golden?"
yeah, no, it's like he's
Mhm.
young. That's, like, pretty
Well, I
young.
think Joan's only 60.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay, so that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay, now I'm getting excited for
I
it. I
know.
think it'll be good. Is there anything else to say about Jen's finale other than it was such a bummer?
No, just it was
It was such a bummer.
it was, like, one of the most, like, one of the harder watches I've had in a long time. And, like,
Oh my gosh. So, like, I actually was like, I almost, like, turned it off.
yeah.
I couldn't watch her watching her engagement. Like, the way she was crying, it was just too much.
Like, the full torture scenes in Game of Thrones where they're, like, pulling people's nails out their fingers, like, that was easier to watch than this. This was, like,
that was the vibe.
yeah,
Yep.
this actually felt like my insides were, like, contracting. I was so upset.
I know. Well, I'm in. We'll watch Dancing
Of
with the
course,
Stars. I
'cause
want to see
Joey's
what's
on
going
it.
on. And Joey's on it, and, like, they
Phaedra.
how has Dancing with the Stars actually turned into, like, a real, like, they really do get, like, really big names
No,
now. Like, the biggest names from the
yeah,
Olympics. Anna Delvey.
unreal.
I saw a photo of her. She has her ankle
Yep.
monitor.
Yep. And listen, she served her time.
Right.
I don't mind her because I love when people scam super rich people. That to me is a
Right.
victimless crime. Like, I watched that
Right.
show and I did not feel bad for a single one of those people. I felt bad for the friends that she went on vacation with who couldn't afford to be on vacation, but no
Right.
one else did I feel bad for. So I can't wait. She's going to be terrible because she's incredibly
She's gonna
stiff,
be
but
awful. Yeah.
I like when they have a criminal on there. Like, I think it's just a nice little touch.
It's have they had a criminal before?
Maybe not a criminal, but, like, they had Sean Spicer on once, and that's like
Okay.
an emotionally defunct person, so I feel like
Yeah.
that's a good matchup.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love the show. I'm excited for Joey. He's doing his 30 things to do before he turns 30, and number 27 was learn to dance. So
God. Joey and Kelsey. Sometimes their, like, little videos come up on my feed, and I was like, "Oh, what a delight. I'm so glad these two are so happy
I
together."
know.
Because they really are. Like, they're so perfect
They're
for
so
each other.
perfect for each other. We had such a good run. Like, I didn't watch Zach's season, but him and Katie seem happy. And then we had Charity and Dotton, and they were so cute together. And then we had Joey and Kelsey. And then the producers decided to ruin Jen's life.
I know. Like, she's gonna be okay.
She'll be fine.
I do think she's gonna be okay. It's just like, be better.
Yeah,
Bachelor Nation.
be better.
Or Bachelor producers. Like, let's be better for Grant.
Ugh.
I mean, like you said, they treat bachelors better
They do.
in recent years. So treat him well. Cast the right women for him.
Precious
because I
Cargo.
want him. He needs to find love.
He needs to
does.
find love. Our adorable little Grant. I hope he has a fiance very soon. That'd be so nice for him.
I know they're probably starting filming like next week.
Yeah, he's probably gone.
Yeah, they're probably like already. I mean, they've definitely already done the cast. Like, yeah,
10,000 applicants.
Whoa. All right, everybody. This has to be the end because now I need to edit this and get it out before tomorrow morning.
Oh, we're also going to be changing our recording schedule because the producers hate us.
Yes, literally.
And we usually record on Tuesday or Wednesday nights. Joan's season is airing Wednesday nights, so we will be recording Friday episodes to come out on Mondays.
Yes, and that is starting in a couple weeks though, so
yeah.
Next week we'll have, I think, maybe like updates on all the shows, like what's going on with everyone, because there's definitely some stuff we need to talk about. And then and maybe like some reactions to Joan's cast. And like, I just feel like A Love Is Blind is gonna drop.
It's gotta be coming soon.
Second now. Yeah.
It's gotta be coming soon. I need to check when Love Island Australia is coming.
I think I saw that it's October. Or it's typically in October. Like everything will come out in October and then we'll be like we'll have like 20 shows we're covering and that's just how it goes.
Of course it will.
But I'm looking forward to it all. I love fall TV.
Me too.
I love getting back into seasons of things and yes, very excited. All right. So with that, Jen, we love you. You deserve better.
We're rooting for you.
We are rooting for you. We love all of you listening, and we will catch you next time.
Cheers, lovebirds.
Thanks for listening to Can I Steal You for a Minute? Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and if you like the show, please leave a rating and review. Follow us on social media at Can I Steal You for a Minute Pod, and support the show through Patreon at patreon.com/Can I Steal You for a Minute.